Breaking news tonight, federal and international agents have dismantled one of Asia's largest narcotics syndicates. Authorities in coordinated raids across Seoul, Busan, and international ports seized over 20 tons of cocaine and arrested 43 members of a powerful Korean cartel.
As a result of the operation, 20 tons of cocaine were seized, 43 members of the syndicate were detained, and a network worth $8.1 billion was destroyed. A San Diego police unit received an urgent call. A license plate recognition system detected a suspicious Honda Accord near the port, and officers intercepted the vehicle on Interstate 5. The driver was Marcus Rivera, 34, a low-level courier. A search revealed $8,500 in cash and 2 phones. Rivera was nervous and avoided eye contact. He was taken to the station and placed in a holding cell pending investigation. Detectives scanned his fingerprints and began a database check. Rivera remained silent, but his phones have already been sent for analysis. After 4 hours of interrogation, Rivera broke down. Under threat of 20 years in prison, he turned in his boss, 41-year-old Park Jin-ho, the head of a Korean crime syndicate operating under the umbrella of the Ocean Mafia Cartel. Park ran a chain of high-end nightclubs in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Officially an entertainment business, in reality, it was a front for human trafficking. His scheme was brutal. Young women from South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam were brought in under the guise of working as dancers, but upon arrival, their passports were confiscated, they were locked in apartments, and forcibly hooked on methamphetamine and ecstasy in the clubs. Under the influence of the drugs, the women became submissive and dependent, forced to service wealthy clients in VIP rooms. Because of the dangerous nature of the target, Command brought in a team of 18 military police soldiers, along with DEA agents. At 2:30 p.m., the team surrounded the Golden Lotus Club in downtown Los Angeles. The building was fortified with metal doors, security guards, and surveillance cameras. The team broke in through the front and back entrances simultaneously. Park Jin-ho was arrested in his second-floor office, where he attempted to burn documents. Seized during the search were 35 kilograms of methamphetamine, 18 kilograms of ecstasy, $280,000 in cash, and a list of 40 VIP clients. Command decided to send a second military group of 20 fighters by helicopter. Lieutenant Colonel James Riley instructed, "We don't know what's in there. Maybe a lab, maybe a warehouse. Prepare for armed resistance because..." A strange clue was found on Par's computer, GPS coordinates of a remote building in the San Bernardino National Forest, 180 miles east of Los Angeles. Satellite images showed an abandoned structure in the middle of dense forest with no roads. Officially, it was an old tourist lodge, closed 15 years ago. But thermal imaging from drones recorded activity inside, people and operating equipment. At 3:40 p.m., the helicopters hovered over a small clearing a kilometer from the target. The insertion was quick. 20 soldiers were deployed in 30 seconds. The team moved through dense forest. Tall trees, bushes, and uneven rocky ground slowed progress. After 600 meters, the scout raised his fist, a stop signal. Ahead, a one-story concrete building with boarded-up windows and a rusty roof appeared. Lieutenant Colonel Riley divided the group into 3 assault teams. The soldiers silently took up positions surrounding the building on 3 sides. This wasn't a drug warehouse. It was an arsenal, 95 AK-47 and AR-15 automatic rifles, 22 RPG-7 grenade launchers with ammunition, 180 kilograms of C4 military-grade plastic explosive, 250,000 rounds of ammunition of various calibers, 40 anti-personnel mines. A body was found in the back room. The forensic expert quickly identified the building from documents. Robert Jenkins, 59, the owner of the building, a former tourist business owner. Shot in the head approximately 3 weeks ago, the cartel killed him and seized the property as a weapons staging area for their operations. On the table in the corner was a laptop running with an encrypted messenger app open. The last message had been sent 12 minutes earlier, before the assault. "Troops are moving through the woods. SWAT team, evacuate the warehouse immediately. Someone within law enforcement was leaking information to the cartel. They had a mole. FBI agents received a breaking news alert. A blue Dodge Challenger SRT with California license plate 6HWD473, registered to Coleman, was spotted near the department building at 5:30 p.m. A search warrant was obtained. At 6:15 p.m., a team of 6 agents intercepted Coleman in the parking lot near his office. Coleman appeared calm, even confident. He clearly didn't expect to be spotted. The agents searched the trunk. Under the spare tire, they found a red first aid kit, but instead of bandages and adhesive tape, it contained 14 sealed bags of white powder. A field test confirmed it was high-grade, pure cocaine. Rapid analysis showed a purity of 94%, a product for elite clients. Coleman was arrested on the spot. His confidence instantly vanished. His face turned pale. His hands trembled. He knew his career and life were in tatters. The agents read him his rights and took him away in handcuffs. FBI experts carefully weighed the seized substance on a calibrated analytical scale. Exactly 100 grams of high-purity amphetamine. In the armory, 18 firearms, from Glock 19 to M4 carbines. In the master bedroom safe, $3 million in vacuum-sealed cash. During a detailed search of the house's basement, agents noticed a rough spot in the concrete wall behind the wine racks. Using a thermal imaging camera, they discovered an empty space behind the wall. After breaking a false panel, they found a metal door with a combination lock. A specialist cracked the lock in 3 minutes. The door opened into a long underground tunnel with concrete walls, leading off into darkness. Turning on powerful flashlights, the agents began their exploration. The tunnel stretched almost a kilometer underground, with a ventilation system and electric lighting. Every 50 meters, metal doors opened into 3-by-2-meter cells. Bare concrete walls, rusty chains on the walls, dirty mattresses on the floor, and buckets in the corner. The cells were empty at the time, but forensic experts found biological evidence: hair, blood, and fingerprints. DNA testing would later confirm that at least 23 people had been held here over the past 2 years. There are suspicions that kidnapped people were held here before being sold or murdered. The walls of the cells held terrible secrets. An analysis of Coleman's financial documents revealed something odd. His tax returns made no mention of a second property, but intercepted messages pointed to a summer cottage in the mountains. Agents began cross-checking the property with land records. After an 8-hour search, they found a 4-acre parcel in the San Gabriel Mountains, registered to a frontman, Michael Thompson, 35, the front owner with no criminal record, who turned out to be Coleman's nephew. The documents were designed to avoid suspicion during inspections. A team of 25 DEA and FBI agents surrounded the summer cottage at dawn the next day. The 2-story house looked like an ordinary country residence with a manicured lawn. No one was inside. The owners had fled after Coleman's arrest. During the search, they discovered an entrance to the basement. But this was no ordinary basement. A hatch beneath the concrete floor led to a 200-meter-long underground tunnel connecting the house to a detached warehouse on the edge of the property. The tunnel was professionally constructed. Concrete walls, a ventilation system, electric lighting, and rails for mine carts. It was a veritable smuggling artery. At the end of the tunnel was a massive underground warehouse, 400 square meters in area. Inside, agents discovered mountains of boxes and packages neatly stacked on shelves. Forensic experts began counting 200 kilograms of cocaine, already packaged for wholesale distribution. Each kilogram brick was sealed in a vacuum-sealed bag bearing the cartel's logo, a stylized O for Ocean Mafia. Evidence indicated that this shipment was being prepared for shipment to dealers in 5 states: California, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, and Washington. The value of the seized goods on the black market, approximately $18 million wholesale, $60 million retail. While agents were working in the warehouse, surveillance systems recorded the approach of a large truck. At 7:45 a.m., a Freightliner Cascadia semi-trailer with the logo of a non-existent transport company, Pacific Logistics Inc., pulled up to the property gate. The driver was Javier Gomez, 44, a drug smuggler with 15 years of experience transporting drugs. He was unaware that the Dakar was already under law enforcement control. Agents allowed the truck to enter the property, then blocked the exit with 3 SUVs. Gomez attempted to turn around and break through, but was surrounded. Agents with automatic weapons pointed their guns at the cab. Gomez raised his hands and surrendered without resistance. Upon inspection, they discovered that the truck was no ordinary one, but had been specifically modified for smuggling. Double-walled trailer with hidden compartments, a 30-centimeter thick false floor to conceal cargo, hydraulic panel system for quick loading and unloading GPS jammers to block satellite tracking. But most importantly, the truck was already partially loaded. Inside the hidden compartments, they found 380 kilograms of cocaine in vacuum-sealed briquettes, 150 kilograms of methamphetamine in plastic bags, 90 kilograms of heroin in aluminum containers, $4.7 million in cash in duffel bags. The total weight of drugs in the truck, 620 kilograms. Together with the 200 kilograms previously seized from the warehouse, and this brings the total to 820 kilograms seized in a single transaction. Gomez's interrogation revealed the route. The shipment was destined for Seattle, Washington, where local dealers were waiting for delivery. It was a regular shipment. Every 2 weeks, a similar truck would carry hundreds of kilograms of drugs north. A detailed analysis of documents seized from Coleman's home revealed another property, a warehouse complex in an industrial area of Long Beach, registered to another shell company, Golden State Imports, LLC. Officially, it imported Asian goods. In reality, it was the cartel's central distribution hub. A team of 30 DEA, FBI, and local police agents surrounded the warehouse at 7 p.m. Thermal imaging revealed the presence of at least 12 people inside. Command decided to storm the facility. At 7:15 p.m., teams simultaneously broke through 4 entrances using flashbang grenades. Panic erupted inside. Warehouse workers attempted to flee, but all exits were blocked. 12 people were detained without using firearms. Inside a 2,000-square-meter warehouse, agents discovered an industrial-scale drug packaging and distribution operation. Conveyor lines for weighing and packaging, vacuum sealing machines, labeling and barcoding equipment, forklifts for handling heavy loads, but most importantly, the massive volumes of marijuana. Thousands of vacuum-sealed bags of cannabis were stacked on racks and pallets. Weighing them took 6 hours. The final tally: 1,000 kilograms, 1,000 pounds of marijuana of various high-quality varieties. Bills of lading were found on the warehouse manager's computer. The next shipment of 400 kilograms, 980 pounds, was scheduled to leave for San Diego the following day through a network of dealers operating in Southern California. Agents immediately coordinated with the San Diego unit to intercept the recipients. That evening, a task force of 15 agents convened in a conference room at DEA headquarters in Los Angeles. A large projector screen displayed photographs and maps of possible hideouts for the main organizer, the man whose name surfaced in all the seized documents and statements of those arrested. Diego El Arquitecto Morales, 52, the leader of the Ocean Mafia cartel and mastermind of the entire operation. A former naval officer, then a logistics specialist for a major shipping company, he used his expertise to build an $8.1 billion smuggling empire. Morales had been in hiding for 72 hours since the arrests began. Agents studied satellite imagery, cell tower data, informant statements, and financial transactions. The board listed 8 possible locations: 2 homes in Malibu, a villa in Santa Barbara, a yacht in San Diego, and apartments in downtown Los Angeles. Morales faced a minimum of 3 life sentences for organizing drug trafficking, murder, corruption, and human trafficking. He was the #1 criminal on the West Coast. The breakthrough occurred at 10:40 p.m. Analysis of Morales' nephew's GPS data revealed repeated visits to a remote house in the Topanga Canyons, northwest of Los Angeles. The house was registered to a non-existent individual. A team of 20 tactical response agents in full gear moved to the location at 11:15 p.m. They approached without sirens or headlights. They surrounded the house from 4 sides using night vision. At 11:47 p.m., teams stormed the house from 3 points. 5 people were inside, including 2 security guards. A brief gunfight ensued. 1 guard was wounded in the shoulder. The second surrendered. The rest of the guards surrendered without resistance. A mini laboratory with a full set of equipment and materials for methamphetamine production was discovered in the basement of the house. 80 kilograms of ephedrine, the main precursor, 45 kilograms of red phosphorus, 60 liters of acetone, glass reactors, flasks, burners, synthesis instructions. But most importantly, Morales was not in the house. Agents searched every room, the basement, and the attic. He was gone. One of the detainees, under pressure, spoke up. He left 20 minutes ago. He was packing his bags. He said he was flying to Mexico. The operation coordinator immediately activated Plan B, blocking all exits from the city. Police helicopters scrambled, patrols blocked major highways, and airports and ports received emergency alerts. At 12:15 a.m., a police helicopter spotted a black Mercedes-Benz S-Class traveling south on Pacific Coast Highway toward a private airport in Carlsbad. Satellite tracking confirmed the license plate number matched a car registered to Morales' shell company. 6 patrol cars and 2 FBI SUVs gave chase. The Mercedes accelerated to 120 miles per hour in an attempt to escape. The helicopter kept pace, directing ground crews. At 12:28 a.m., the Special Forces deployed studded road strips. The Mercedes hit the strips, blowing out all 4 tires. The vehicle lost control and stopped. Agents surrounded the vehicle with guns drawn. A man emerged from the car with his hands raised. Diego Morales. He knew the game was up. In the back seat were 2 Louis Vuitton suitcases stuffed with documents, passports in 5 different names, and $1.2 million in cash. Morales was handcuffed and placed in a special locked vehicle for transporting high-risk criminals, an armored van with bars and a GPS monitoring system. The total weight was 20 tons. In the adjacent compartment, they found maps of the supply route, from Illinois to Texas, then to Mexico. The control room contained monitors and servers used to manage the fake companies. 8 people were arrested, including Patrick Bain, a former civil engineer responsible for the tunnels. He confirmed that the network connected the warehouse's underground floors to the city sewer system and the private homes of government officials. When it was all over, the DEA agents stood in front of minecarts piled high with white bags. A reporter said off camera, "This operation lasted 18 months and ended here, beneath the streets of Chicago. 20 tons of drugs, dozens of arrests, 3 life sentences. Mission successful." On the screen, a stamp read, FBI and DEA Joint Operation, Case Closed.